Alright, I think I'm going to do some world building next in this little Chaotica test series I'm doing. And world building is one of my favorites. Right now we're going to look at lore and lore generation. So I have a fairly simple system here. It actually gives me a spectrum of information. I have a list of several ages, so every time I generate a world history, the lore, there's going to be usually 4 ages and some major events that happen in each age that help set up the setting for each world. And of course, I'll just keep rolling up different ones of these until I find one that I like. So I'll roll up a different world, read through it a bit, see if I like it. And if I like it, I'll save it. If I don't, I'll throw it away and pick up a new one. I'm going to be throwing away all the ones I mentioned here today, but, there's always the chance that we can roll up something similar, because they do tend to have certain similarities. All of them have magic. Though one of the fun things about magic is you can exchange it with technology and make things that are remarkably similar. So if you want to do a sci-fi excuse, if you want to make sci-fi excuses for what looks like a magic lore or magic setting, then you can do that. So let's take a look. The first one we have, first age, starts with some kind of god council. There is the summoning of an angelic legion, a few notable magic artifacts. Lots of initial gods fighting each other, doing various things. Mostly we have elves and orcs that live in swamps. Humans also live in swamps and forests. So it looks like a nice primitive-ish start, with plenty of potential for magic. Second age jumps into some interesting problems. We have more technology, a river fortress, some kind of demon interloper gets purified, though purify is an interesting word. It can mean so many different things. And of course, when I make a world like this, I don't tell everything to the players. This is information I can fall back on and use whenever I like. Let's see. Lots of age of exploration stuff in the second age. A third age, we have a glacier cataclysm. That's a new ice age, it looks like. Hovercrafts get invented, more rising technology. We have a celestial descent, which is different from an angelic legion, a completely different type of magic, but a very similar idea. You have an invasion of outsider beings that look, well, angels and demons are weird in Chaotica. I might have a different video on that. But yeah, we have the glacier cataclysm, and that leads into the fourth age. And together with that, the new era. They're kind of the same thing, but kind of not. We have some cloning pods and terminators. Now, I like to keep things vague, because these are all kind of prompts for guessing what else might come up. These are our suggestions that I can use. Terminators can mean a lot of different things. Usually it has a very technological sound to it. People might think of the Terminator franchise. I like to keep my options open on what exactly a Terminator is. And then I'll go ahead and compare this history with the branching storyline, which incidentally doesn't have Terminators as a big deal. The big deal apparently are the cloning pods, which you can make that a plot point that cloning pods are used to make lots of enemies, and of course you have to maybe grind through said enemies, and finding a way to deal with just large groups of enemies is an interesting practice in the game, especially since this isn't D&D. This is not a exercise in rules about percentages of dice throws and things like that. This is a storytelling game, and often problem solving. And it's fun to exercise things like that. So yeah, in the new era, fourth era, we have more hovercrafts. Ooh, a dark world portal. Those are always fun. And there's some kind of monstrosity that we have to deal with that is going to cause problems for people. More necromancy, it looks like. So we have a good Magitech setting with lots of combinations of magic and technology. I have a list of notable magic major events that happen in each age. What each of those actually means will, of course, vary according to my interpretation, when I have that list, these major magic events, that doesn't mean that those things happen necessarily in each age. It may mean that someone tried to make them happen, that the idea came up, that they give hints to things that maybe could have destroyed the world but fizzled. I like the list of artifacts here. I might as well mention some of those here. We have... Now, again, these names of the artifacts are suggestions. They are inspiration for what kind of story I want to make. Force Shuriken of the purple elephant. The colors mean different things too. I can interpret the colors, though I do have a chart for interpreting colors if I ever get kind of stuck. Chaos Staff of Courage. Balance Goggles of the Gold Forest. I do sometimes change some of these because I see something glasses or eye patch here. Balance eye patch of the Gold Forest. I might go with the initial suggestion, or I might change it to be like just a lens. Like there's this magic piece of glass that does something. Let's see. The Gold Shuriken of Eternity. Sounds cool. What does it do? I'll figure that out. Fate Goggles of the White Worm. Purple Sword of Clarity. Fate Sphere of Clarity. Black Crystal of Pandemonium. Oh yeah, that sounds like fun already. White Bull of the Green Forest. Nice. Sounds like a nice artifact. What does it do? Inspiration. We'll see. Silver Rapier of the Green Cave. Skill Shuriken of the Purple Squirrel. Fate Small Clothes of the Silver Dragon. Someone's got some magic underwear. Alright. Force Ring of the Purple Worm. Ooh. I can think of some things there. Yeah, there's some weird stuff. And I will occasionally censor things because it's not always safe for work. And depending on my audience, obviously, if I'm giving a game for children, I'm not going to say, oh, this is the magic codpiece of demon spawning or something like that. It's like I'll just pick something else. And that's one of the nice things about this system is that you have options and you can pick other things. You don't have to make it exactly what you see. Alright. It looks like the overall story, the main branching storyline starts out with something about fighting this monstrosity, and the cloning pods become an issue later. We'll look at the storylines later. I'd like to focus today on just the lore and world history. So, world history number 2. Never seen it before. Okay, in the first stage we have the Eternals. An alternative to gods, you have various kinds of immortals that work upon the world, and generally when you start with something like Eternals, you'll take the first list of characters and just make those an eternal version of, or quasi-immortal version of whatever they happen to be. The nice thing about the characters I roll up is that you can interpret them as first-level characters, as gods, as anything in between. I might talk about how levels work in Chaotica in another video. So we start with the first stage, Eternals. Lots of oceanic stuff. I like the kind of pirate themes we see here. Steam tanks already starting out with some nice steampunk technology here, and Eternals could easily bring in that technology from wherever else they came from. Nice artifacts in here as well. You can, like I said before, give a more steampunk or sci-fi excuse for an artifact, or a more magic excuse, depending on what tone you're going for. We have some kind of snake people. It says here sauropod humans, which I will interpret that to mean snake people. You can interpret races to be other things as well, like the goat orcs. So I would make the orcs of this world have more of a goat-like appearance. Snow humans. How can you not think of like the classic Nords or something like that? So great. And you have various other creatures that it suggests. Second age, more Eternals working on their shenanigans. Looks like there's some biomagic going on with a very kind of hive mind type thing where you unify the biome into something very much like the Zerg or Tyranids or something like that. We have some natural disasters, big sandstorms, more ocean stuff. That artifact, my goodness, the Gold Spork of Awe. It should be better somehow if it's in the lore, so we'll come up with a reason. Steam tanks, a big deal in the third age. It looks like we have Ash dunes, deserts, the tanks perhaps adapted to the deserts instead of for leaving the oceans, perhaps. You have steamboats and steam tanks. Nice amphibious steampunk stuff. A good steampunk theme here. I like it when the random numbers give me a consistent theme. That's always fun to work with. We've got some titans and other stuff that's popping up. Some nice epic magic here. Fate magic, enchanting, various interesting. Maybe it feels like you had kind of a steampunk setting, and then someone in the Third Age discovered magic. So that's a fun thing we can bring into the story. Fourth Age, we have an ocean cataclysm. Can mean a lot of things. A big deal if everyone was living in the ocean to start with and just barely getting onto land. Glowing caves cataclysm. So they get onto land and then go into cave systems underneath the desert. That would make sense. Under the ash dunes, so we have these glowing caves, and the titans are coming for you. They've destroyed civilization in the ocean, and now the titans are coming onto land. So sure, we have the beginnings of a story here. Another Noctium portal. Noctium is the dark world, and it actually has its own kind of setting. I might get into that later. Noctium is a special little side creation, just like chaos magic is, and probably for another video. We'll leave those for another video. We do have a major sealing and or breaking event, so something that was sealed away getting broken out, or something really powerful getting sealed away. Maybe the Eternals that we saw before are sealing themselves away because they don't want the Titans to kill them. Something like that. I don't know. It looks like there's something called the Storm Fortress, and people will be trying to stop that or take control of that. Maybe it's the last fortress. It's the last stand against the Titans is the Storm Fortress. So we have nice beginnings of a story in this one. I like that. All right, well, let's move along. We'll leave the branching storyline for another one. Let's try another. Got another God Council starting this one. We have, to summarize things more quickly here without getting into too many details. Spider humans are a big deal in this one. Lots of forest dwellers, but the oldest race are the spider humans, the spider people. That sounds interesting. So we have a God Council. Right off the bat, we have some undead and interesting biomagic. Is that druids? Depends on how you want to interpret it. We got some big demonic invasion stuff going on in the Second Age. Perhaps that's a battle between the gods and some invading demons. And the world is left wrecked by that, and the survivors come back. It doesn't say whether the gods or demons are left anymore, but it looks like in the Third Age we have some rising technology, which implies that the gods and demons canceled each other out somehow and left with something of a world where people are left to fend for themselves, leading them to invent rifles. We have, in the Fourth Age, it looks like a lot of biotech stuff. I like that combination, biotech with rifles. Maybe they grow rifles on trees. There's no reason you can't have something weird like that. I would go for that setting. But yeah, in the current conflict, it looks like there are people hunting for artifacts that the gods abandoned and left scattered throughout the world. And there's some people toying with some big and dangerous magic that's going on there. The world has some really wild biomes left over on it. Frozen flamescapes and chaos rifts and a bunch of strange things. So this sounds like a fun world to explore. Anyway, we got that. We got time. Maybe one more. Let's try one more. World starts out godless. No gods. And what do we have? There's a lot of weird chaos stuff in this world. Raven elves. Yes, give the elves some dark feathers here. Cave elves. No humans anywhere, just elves and orcs. The orcs do seem to be a little bit calmer here, kind of shamanistic. It looks like we have some interesting magic and other more oceanic themes. Some big, quote-unquote, good magic things going on. Someone trying to purge the world of evil. Sounds good, usually isn't. And in response to that, in the Second Age, we have power magic, which is kind of the evil magic of the Chaotica megaverse, which I think I'll get into a video of that at some point about the 12 magics, because that is consistent between the different that is one thing that's fairly consistent from world to world, is the magic systems. Though there's a lot of different ways we can toy with the different magic systems. And yes, of course, that leads up to in Third Age, we have a demonic army getting summoned in, because that's the natural counter to the more angelic balanced magic. Let's see. Some interesting shadow magic going on here. And yeah, there's a lot of big magic cataclysms going on here. No gods to keep the mortals in check, and they take full advantage of it. They do some... if you want some big epic magic campaign, this sounds like a good setting for it. And that's enough for now, I think. We'll go ahead and end this for now. I'm always open to suggestions for what you want to hear about next. At some point here, I'm going to start a story and just start telling a story, maybe put some episodes for it, and hopefully that gets some attention too. I'm interested in trying new things and always open to your suggestions. Have a great day.